That's sad.
It is 6 p.m. and in spite of my better judgment, I'm going to open the December 21st, 2021 meeting of the Conservation Commission. A reminder, we are being recorded, transmitted, streamed, zoomed, but we're not being recorded on Zoom. Whether or not you care to meet, that's up to you.
I'm fine with that.
So let me start off by doing this. I said this and that, which lets me bring up that. Meeting minutes. Did everybody read them already, I hope?
Mm-hmm.
Any comments, questions, corrections, additions, deletions?
None of the above.
Perhaps some, removal, some...
No, I'll make a motion to accept them as written. How's that?
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Danza, aye.
Gentilucci, aye.
Langer and I.
Delacola, aye.
No, he has to abstain. He wasn't here last time.
I just showed up.
All right, so we do have one thing, which is hearing for the request for determination of applicability, and then I'm going to take stuff a little out of sequence based upon our guests. So let's start with our RDA for 97 Prescott Street.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Board. Tracy Sharkey, 14 West Street, Douglas, Mass. Guaranteed Builders. On behalf of the applicant, we have filed for request for determination of applicability. We met on the site, discussed the process. We are planning to do the silt fence, the 3-foot silt fence with stake straw wattles on the line depicted. The limit of work is also going to be that line. So we're installing a 28 by 26 garage, no, 26 by 26 detached garage with site work.
Okay, I will say that this is here for this board because there are wetlands that are about 50 feet, mapped wetlands, I should say, about 50 feet from the limit of work. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less.
Mm-hmm.
And we think that it's best to just file an RDA so that we have it down and there aren't questions about it.
Yes.
Are there any questions? We talked about this last time, so right. I don't know what else anybody wants to say or ask or do. Okay. Hearing nothing else, I'd like a motion.
Motion to issue a negative determination with the plan as depicted.
What's the right reason?
Number 3.
Yeah, number 3.
Yeah.
Negative number 3. You
Negative
ask
number-
me every time, and I'm
Yes,
never
I
gonna
do.
remember it.
And neither do I. That's why I ask every time.
Pretty sure it's number 3.
Sounds right.
I'll
That the
second.
work is outside of the
We already had a second. If
Mhm.
you were paying
You
attention.
were paying attention.
I was waiting for what number it was.
Other discussion.
Suspenseful.
All right, roll call.
Delacola, aye.
Clock eye.
Langer and I.
Danza, aye.
Gentilucci, aye.
Great.
Is this your Christmas present to yourself?
Yeah, I think
Chaos.
I have to get joy any way I can, don't I? Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about Pommogussett Road.
Do you want to tell her she's all
Yeah,
set?
we want to tell
Want to tell her she's all set?
Oh, you're all set. We'll have paperwork and done. Tamika, when will
Very
we done?
much. I appreciate your time. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
And
Keep
to
up
you.
the good work. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
So, Pommogussett, where do we want to start? So actually, since it's the thing that's formally on the agenda is this email asking for a little more clarification on a button notification. This is for the upcoming NOI, which is not the dam, but it's the rest of Pommogussett from Maine up till Richards, I believe. So, as we can read their proposal is 1,000 feet around each of the 3 discrete sections rather than 1,000 feet along the entire road. Okay, that saves a couple thousand feet of abutter notification. What do we think?
Oh my god, you're all looking at me. So my initial thought when I was looking at this is when I reviewed the schematic on the DEP section. So there's project site and project locus. And so project locus is the, general area of the parcel that's going to happen, but obviously this is the road. And the project site is where the actual work is happening. So in this specific instance, they're the same. Even though our jurisdiction comes in and out, technically they're supposed to do it for the entire site. And it's 1,000 feet, but it's only direct abutters. It's not abutters of abutters.
Then what's the 1,000-foot limit if it's not abutters of abutters?
I don't know, in case there's big parcels. I don't know. I don't make the rules. I just read them.
Tamika, I don't have the attached schematic that they were discussing. I didn't see a separate file. That's all I can see.
Did you check the Pommogussett? I have a folder for Pommogussett.
Yes, you do, and yes, I have this right here. Oh, this might be. There's an email from Western Sampson.
No, if it's about this, do you mind if I go ahead?
Please feel free.
This email was drafted by John Morgan. He's the lead engineer for the tip job and his CHA. So that would be the heading on any of the plans. So it wouldn't be Western Sampson.
I might have dropped it into the Pommogussett.
The other thing-
I'm looking there now. I see an email. I have 2 with the date of 12/15, a before second break, a during second break, an email from Western and Sampson and Pommogussett Road Water System Improvement Plans.
It's the DEP. I don't know if this
No,
is
that's
exactly
separate.
what this
This
Yeah,
is-
that's,
And I can tell you the tip job is a
If you
big
check
set,
it on,
it's a big drawing.
this email box, we were CC'd on this email as well, so the attachment should come.
oh, well, I can get there. It's still in the inbox somewhere, do you think?
Yep, I would have kept it in there.
The abutter, look at all the abutter list emails.
Yeah, we've gone back and forth a few times, and I just got so confused. I said I'm gonna bring it back to them because I wasn't really sure at that point.
Let's start with that one and see if that's,
I don't think so. That's no.
yeah,
It'd be
that's,
like a DEP. If that's what he was talking about.
la 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 la
Could
la.
we further down in the email? Because we went back and forth a few times.
Well, that's 12/14, so
Just
if I go
Google
back,
WPA notices linear. It'll show up.
Yeah.
The first one.
ooh, this one's bigger. Let's see what this one has.
Just go into Google and do WPA abutter notices linear.
Well, we're not in Google right now.
Okay, well, whatever your search engine is, put it into the Bing. As my dad likes to say, the Google machine. The Google.
I clicked on you. Why didn't you do that? Sure, why not? Oh, of course you decided to reply. Instead of opening the, but is there a, is it just
Joe, what's the impact to the engineering group, one way or the other, do you know? Do you have a rough idea?
No, it doesn't affect them. We're not gonna have a lot of control of this job when it gets going.
I don't know what I'm saying is on the abutter notification.
So
If we
it's-
go one way, are we gonna lose that enough to make a difference, or is it?
So it's
Oh,
it's
yeah, I see
about
your
a
point.
mile.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No,
A mile is 5,000 feet,
Right.
plus or minus.
just do everything.
And they have to do, if they say 3,000 feet, because there are 3 regions, they're gonna do 1,000 on each side. I don't know if there's overlap. I'm gonna
Right.
just do fast, easy math rather than complicated math.
Just do the whole
So
thing.
it saves 2,000 feet, however many people there are along
Right.
that road.
So this is just for notification.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
I would just do everybody.
I don't see any harm in it.
No, just do everybody, and
And
then they're
certificates
notified.
Are 150. Watch you don't have to do certified. Certificates of mailings are like $1.50 or 75 versus 765.
They don't even technically have to spend that if they give an affidavit of service.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, and they give us the abutter list, but,
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
but we don't.
Yeah.
it might
do
eliminate
everybody.
some phone calls,
Right.
you know,
What's going on?
what's going on with, you know, the ones that don't normally pay attention to anything.
You know, the other side of the coin is that's a big complicated job, and we can't get enough information out there.
Right.
So we could, make out on that deal.
Yeah,
So we wanna have them do.
I think we would rather have him do the entire road. I
Yep.
think-
Entire road,
Yep.
everybody within 1,000
Yes.
feet.
No, it's not everybody within 1,000 feet of it. It's direct abutters.
Yeah, directed.
Well, technically it is the 1,000 feet
Like right
Around the radius of work?
around the radius of work, but it's only direct abutters within that 1,000 feet. It's stupid.
yeah, if
So
you
It's,
gotta
it's,
know,
it's,
So
a- it's,
it
a, it's a
is-
double wording.
Yeah.
It is only direct abutters.
right,
Right.
Yeah. So it's
within,
It's clear as
you
mud.
have the radius,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
only
yeah.
ones directly touching it counts. Yeah.
the only direct abutters within the
Al-
radius.
Just tell
Along-
them the whole mile. You
along
need to
the
notify
entire
the whole
road.
mile.
Easy enough.
Yeah. I think he'll get if they just say that.
yeah, if somebody's got 200 or 400 feet of depth to their lot, you don't have to get the guy behind them.
Right.
Right. So, Joe, for clarification,
No
for my
promises.
clarification, this tip project covers all the way to Main Street, right?
Yep. Station 00 is at Main.
Perfect.
We could probably get you some drawings if you want.
It's a big book. There's a lot to it.
Yeah.
I think we have. I think we have the entire. Didn't you send me the entire?
I did for the water work, but not for this.
Ah.
This is nuts.
This is too big. We put a set on, for the public to look at the clerk's office. Cause it's, 80 or 100 sheets, all this size.
Yeah. Let's talk about electronic.
Yeah,
I will just keep
You
it.
can't send it. It's too big to
It's too
send.
big.
Yeah, so we could put it on a server someplace, but
can you email it?
no.
No.
No,
It's
it's
that
because
big.
the email is what he's
It's that
saying.
big.
I can email pieces, but I
I
can't.
mean, it's
email
more
the
than
whole-
20 megabytes?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is going to be.
It's
It's
layer on
50.
layer on layer.
Yeah.
So if we
But we
could
can
put
make
it on
a
the.
set and leave it with the board, the commission if you want, you can do that.
I honestly don't see value in printing another copy. People, please speak up. This is my opinion, not. This is not.
I've seen it.
The only thing we really need for our edification is a detail of what they're gonna do for an erosion,
Right.
sedimentation or erosion control, that's all. Just
So-
give us a detail, one detail.
We can pull those
That's
sheets
gonna-
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we will get those when they submit the NOI.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's
Right.
not a problem.
Right.
Joe, if we could put it somewhere on a server, we'll just fetch a copy and we'll store it ourselves in our own little place where we all can get to it.
Okay.
Thank you. So let's ask some other questions about stuff that's going on and stuff that's gonna go on.
I'll do the best I can. We could always get the consultant back in if we wanted to.
So let's start with the water main break and the issues that have come out of that,
What do you want to
which
know?
is the sedimentation
Mm-hmm.
that's gone into, as I understand it, again, I haven't gone on looking at it, and where the heck is my cursor? There you are. Which is, go a little south. Right, because it's going to be, where's the detention pond? It's right about here and here. Is that right?
What are you
It's
talking
along the
about?
rail trail.
What detention?
No, what are you talking about? No, keep coming. It's on 12.
Oh, it's on 12.
It's on
Yeah.
12. There's a
Yeah.
catch basin on. There's a catch basin on 12, and across from 10 is.
Oh,
the
that's right,
detention.
because this is
Yes.
the.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's the rail trail. The other
Got
one's
it.
my road.
Yeah.
Getting excited to visit.
Now, you've got a detention, you've got
Catch basin.
catch basins here and here.
Did you read the
And what that
email?
does is delivers that water
Did you read
into
the,
that detention basin that sets over in here.
Mhm.
It's right here.
we think most of the silt that entered the basins was over the road, not through most of the silt that entered that detention basin next to the rail trail was over the road stuff, not from the catch basins themselves, because they actually had silt protection in them.
Well, that catch basin's still chock full. The one
Even
on-
after they pulled the,
they haven't done anything. That one that's off the side of the road, the rail trail, has 2 feet of friggin' dirt on it, and it blew over the top of that. So I guarantee that because the catch basin next to Val's over, the
Let's-
greenhouse.
let's start at the beginning.
Yep.
Okay, did everyone read the email about who's responsible for cleaning all these?
Doesn't matter. Somebody has to be.
The answer, well, best answer is
Well-
no, not
Right.
everybody's read that.
Right.
Okay.
I didn't see it.
So, the water main break,
Mm-hmm.
broken by the contractor,
Mm-hmm.
because the contractor excavated where we told him the water main wasn't,
Oh.
okay?
Yep.
We have no drawings of the existing water main in Pommogussett.
Right.
We have no ties, we have no real plan.
Right.
On top of that, the water main is made of asbestos cement pipe,
Mhm.
so you can't locate it.
Right.
We did our best guess based on the valves and eyeballing it to tell them where they could and couldn't dig,
Hmm.
and where we said it wasn't,
It
they
was.
hit it.
It
Oh
was.
yeah.
Okay, we figured somebody went around a big rock or a piece of ledge or something like that.
Right.
That's why it is where it is.
Right.
So we can't hold the contractor responsible for the silt damage. That falls to the town, that falls to DPW. We don't have any legal way to go after them. We marked out the water main and told them where it
Mhm.
was it,
Right.
Yeah.
so
Okay.
that all falls to us.
Yep.
I did reach out to the engineer so far, they told me that silt baskets were put in all of those basins, and they were pulled last week.
Not that one.
Then we can go back and look at that.
Yeah. Because that one, that's that cross pipe that goes over to that detention basin on the rail trail.
So, was it on the roadway?
It's off the side
It's
of the
just
roadway.
off the side of the
So
road.
it's not a
It's-
basin, it's a.
It is a basin. It is a basin, but it sits off the roadway. They never put anything in that one.
Okay, so they only covered what was in the.
Yeah. So what was in there? That one's chock full, and it's probably full to the bottom. Probably the cross pipe under the road's full.
I'll find out.
Oh yeah.
Um,
That's a vac truck job. That's all that. That's what that is.
Right,
And then see where it goes,
what do you mean?
and then see how much is under the road plugs, if anything.
Yeah, well,
because that side when that blew, that catch basin got full, and then it blew over the sidewall onto the rail trail,
The rail trail.
and then it went down the sides.
But you
Oh yeah.
do understand that it's, if we had a water main break, whether we were excavating there or not, the
Mhm.
same thing would happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not uncommon for that sort of thing to happen.
Right.
Right, but
Oh, yeah,
it still
yeah.
has to
Oh, yeah.
get, still
We-
has to
we-
be repaired after the fact,
We're gonna
Right.
clean it.
regardless of how it happened or who did it.
Right.
We were hoping that we could get the contractor to pay for it, but if not, it's still, I think we all agree,
Oh, yeah.
it's got to get cleaned, and I understand that you understand
Yep,
that, so.
yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any idea when you might be able to get to that, Joe?
a lot of it's driven on temperature. As long as it's warm enough, we could put a vac truck out there and start to clean it out.
Right.
If
So I'm
you
gonna
get-
go with not tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah. I think he's gonna be a busy little beaver
You gotta be
tomorrow.
30, you gotta be above 32 really to run the
Right.
back truck. That's
Yeah.
what you need to get out there.
Right.
We'll look at the temperatures, maybe next week.
Yeah,
All right,
just let us know by
Yeah.
email, that's fine.
Yep.
So anything else on that before we move on?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So, the next, we've talked a bit about the tip. The other
Before I
one,
forget, I have paper ones on that if you need it.
ooh,
Would you like paper ones on the water job?
yes.
I'm not hearing you.
Do you want the copy of the paper plans for the water job?
Sure.
All right.
We'll put it over there. Anyone care to look at them now?
There you go, Melissa. Christmas present for you.
Why,
Merry Christmas.
If we look
at
at
the
them hard
pages.
enough, will they change?
No.
It's actually, can I tell you?
It's going
really
better.
well.
It really is.
They've flown through, the water main's all in, they have to pressure test and do a couple services cut over, but it's gone very well.
And what's the timeline for completion, roughly?
We wanted that main active. Because if we have a failure in Miles,
Mhm.
we have trouble providing water, so but they shut down for 2 weeks around Christmas. So they'll probably finish up the week after New Year.
Mid-January.
Yeah. The other, we had to add some work because we found out we couldn't, we can't shut off Pommogussett at Maine. The valve won't hold, so.
That was
I think we knew
all
that,
that
yeah.
stuff that went down into Devereaux there.
Yeah.
So what we decided to do was, I just got the quote back, we're gonna we have to do a line stopper, an insertion valve in Pommogussett at the crest of the hill near Memorial Drive,
Mm-hmm.
and cut in 2 new valves. We wanna do that work before the big road job starts anyways.
Right.
We'd be dumb not to, and after that, we're done. I only bring that up because that's not on this drawing.
Right.
So once that's done, you get abandoning the piece that goes through the woods?
No,
No.
no, ultimately, we'll probably slip line it or do an in situ repair,
Okay.
so that we can loop that water properly and feed Devereaux from 2 different sides. I mean, really, it's a facility,
Right.
you should do it that way.
Kind of nice to have a double.
Yeah, and it gives us a nice loop.
I was gonna say, where's the other side of that loop gonna end up?
What do you mean?
Well, where else would it connect?
It goes up through the woods behind Devereaux and connects up to Brunel, up in that area.
Oh, it does
It's a
already-
big.
oh,
That's
that's
where
right,
it goes.
that's right, I think I knew
That's
that.
that big loop, and a lot of that's rotten.
Yeah.
Because it's putting friggin'
Swamp.
acidic soil and swamp and
Yeah,
It actually.
yeah, we've
rusted-
seen that.
It rusted from the outside,
yeah.
Oh, God, really?
yeah, not the inside.
Yeah.
And if you can imagine, picture where the tanks are on Wheeler Road, and then picture where the elevation is down by Tile.
Yeah.
So there's a good amount of pressure on that
Yeah.
line.
What would you say the pressure is? I was told 100 PSI.
Could be 100, 130.
Wouldn't shock me.
And you've got all that volume that goes up to feed those subdivisions as well, so
Yeah.
not only is it under a lot of pressure, it's moving.
Yeah, the city of Worcester learned a lesson on that static pressure up there when they did the treatment plant up on the reservoir, just top of Pleasant Street there, up that way.
I don't know if I was there.
All of Pleasant Street from the Paxton line down to Tatnick and beyond ended up with static pressure of the reservoir on it. They had,
Oh, good.
oh yeah, I measured 200 PSI at the house I owned down in Tatnick.
I believe it. I know they get 130 down at Lake Ave, and that was all gravity.
Yeah,
Slow and
The
fast.
shower,
Yeah.
the shower head whistles
Yeah.
nicely.
the city
Good water
pumped a lot of
pressure down there.
basements because every safety,
Low flow my
Every-
eye.
every boiler safety and hot water tank safety.
Yeah. Okay.
You'd be surprised.
Merry Christmas to you.
What else you got, Peter?
Okay, so I do remember hearing about the state doing the remainder of Pommogussett and some of East County, or even all of East County. Is that right? I don't remember the details.
He doesn't want to talk about it.
No,
You just added to his headache.
no, it's fine. It's just the Mass DOT hasn't been consistent. That's all.
Right.
So probably 6 months ago, they came to us and said that the state had funded the transportation bond bill, and they were working on numbered routes in cities and towns, and they identified 68 and 56 here in Rutland. And they came in and met with myself and the town administrator, and they asked all kinds of questions like, do you know when the last time they were paved, and what do you have, pavement index, and do you have any major construction plan, and all that sort of stuff, because they planned on coming in and doing a grind and overlay job on both of those roads before June 30. I said,
Really?
Yeah,
Good luck with that.
that project has since shrunk. I think they backed off on 68 this coming fiscal.
Mhm.
We don't have a timeline on that one. They now know about the large tip jobs, so when they first came to see us, they didn't have that planned. They've integrated the sidewalk work on Maple in their job, because that affects them too.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That'd be nice.
no, we're doing that.
Oh, okay.
No, that's a grant.
Okay.
It's just, they're gonna also do some paving in that area.
Good.
That's all. So I think you'll see, if we can get them to answer the phone and give us a straight answer, I think large portions of Maple, but not the entire thing. Pommogussett from where the town left off to the limits of this job. I guess the town was there maybe 6-8 years ago.
The far end, yeah.
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 And we don't have a schedule on 68.
Yeah.
But they're both mill and overlay jobs, and they're
Mhm.
both existing state contracts.
Right.
So it wouldn't be. It's not going to be bid. It's already, in theory, it's already been bid. How's that?
Right.
We used to deal with a guy by the name of Bill Clarity
He's moved.
over there at DOT.
He moves.
Is he
He's
still?
moved. He moved departments.
And the folks who came to see us came out of Boston.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry, Zoomed.
Well, no, Bill was real good, I mean, as far as providing detail and everything to us.
Yeah.
Well, mill overlay job's easy. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, well, he took us for rides to
Right.
Yeah, he's-
inspect and
He's
everything
not
else.
on the construction side anymore.
Are either 56 or 68 town roads, or are they both state roads? I know they're numbered, but that
They're
doesn't.
both town roads.
Okay.
They were originally constructed by the county and then turned over to the town. 122 and 122A are state
Or
roads.
states, right. Okay.
As soon as I have some limits, I can send it on to you, but I don't see it being full depth excavation type work. They're gonna take and
Yeah.
scrape a couple inches off the top and put new mix down.
Right. Anything's better than what's there.
Yeah, I wouldn't turn them away.
No.
No,
We identified some, for the benefit of this group though, we have identified some culvert concerns. Namely, after you go past the limits of this job, you come, there's a farm there, and there's a beaver dam that floods
Coppolas.
pretty
Yeah.
regularly.
Coppolas Farm, yeah.
That one,
That's huge, yeah.
Yeah.
and then two more after that, we wanna get replaced, and then we also have, we had it looked at, the overflow from Edson Pond,
Yep.
yep,
that culvert's structurally unsound. But it looks like Mass Highway isn't gonna work on that portion. More to come on that.
oh, you're
Yeah.
talking about where Edson Pond splits?
No, where it goes under the road, it's I wanna say it's a odd size, it's like 5 by 6 foot box culvert that goes underneath
Mhm.
Pommogussett, that takes the overflow from the pond.
Yeah.
That's the one,
Okay.
it's got a lot of cracking and spalling, and it's leaking in places, and I guess there's been some settlement associated with it already. But we brought a structural guy in to look at it, I don't have the report yet.
Yeah.
I don't think we have any culvert work on Maple with this work.
Okay.
And you also got the, you got the plans from Ty and Bond for the sidewalk work. They have an erosion and sediment control plan. Did you review? I sent those.
If she says yes, then I believe her.
It's in the folder.
Is
It's
it?
on Road.
Oh, that's all part of Pommogussett. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
No, sorry. I
That's-
believe I put it in that folder, even though it's for Maple Ave, 'cause I didn't have any rest to put it in.
Right,
per se,
right,
so,
right.
But we do have that.
Yep.
Because you do cross a wetland on that job too.
Yep.
That's the one. That's the one. Oh, again. Well, I'm not gonna go through each of these, which is. But that's okay. If we have it, we'll get ourselves straightened away for organization, but should we have easy access to it?
We're replacing the sidewalk from the hospital to
Mhm.
Main.
Right.
And you come, there's a wetland you cross in there someplace, we'll call it a swamp. How's that?
Yeah.
You go by a swamp.
It's got like a 6-inch galvy pipe that's half collapsed
We
in now.
got rid of that.
Yeah.
That's gone.
Is the fact that they're Galby,
Galvanized.
yeah,
He
I've
sa-
seen
he
a
sounded
number
he sounded
of
manly with
roads.
the Galby, though.
Yeah, trying to get words fail.
You saw
Um,
me earlier before the meeting. What was I trying to say? HydroCAD calculations? Jeez.
I've seen a
Someplace.
number of places on a number of roads in town where there are
Corrugated
1 foot,
metal
2 foot depressions that when I've looked at them, I've looked at the ones on Campbell Street a lot. It looks like every one of those is a crossing. Do we? I haven't looked at all of them because I'm not sure I want to know. I know that you've had a lot of higher priority issues this year, there's no question, so I'm not,
Until they fail, we typically don't look at them,
okay.
unless, of course, we got planned construction. But, I mean, Campbell was laid out as a dirt road. Those culverts are shallow, and it wasn't like it was designed.
Right.
And corrugated metal pipe was real popular.
Mhm.
It's not like somebody went and sized it and said, yep, I definitely think we need to have an 18-inch pipe there.
There was no HydroCAD for that.
You're not,
Yeah, for
I'll
sure.
be honest with you, you're not far off.
Or it's whatever's cheapest right now. What's on sale?
It was usually what was ever available in the
Yeah.
yard.
That's what it is now.
Well, the other thing is, there's probably not enough cover on them either.
Right.
We've
Yeah,
got
so
some failures on Glenwood, or some depressions on Glenwood that I think had to do with water main construction, just poor compaction. It could be that too.
Right.
Okay. Well, those are the questions I have. Anyone else have questions
Nope.
for our glorious director of DPW?
Please call anytime. So my deliverables are, you wanna see if we can get those cleaned out, we'll look.
Yes.
And you'd like to get information from Mass Highway on the paving when it's available.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And you need anything else on this? Cause this job's big and complicated.
No, just the detail of the erosion control, that's it. Just those couple pages.
That's
Right.
that's what we need.
Yeah.
Work on. Yes.
You don't want the whole plan, trust me. Trust me.
Scroll down, scroll
Ah.
down, scroll down.
For the public, it is available to review at the clerk's office.
Should you?
Dare.
Choose to accept it.
Just bring the
If you wish
bottle.
to punish
Just bring the
yourself.
bottle.
They are, I think the 100% are almost done, and we did pay for the design, so I see no reason why we couldn't ask for extra sheets or anything like that.
All right.
Okay.
I think we're all set. Joe,
All
thank you
right.
very much
Thanks.
for coming
Thank
in.
you.
Everybody, have a great holiday.
You
too.
too.
Thank you.
Eat too much, hopefully it won't snow.
Yeah.
No, it's just gonna ice tonight.
Yes.
So much better.
And,
Good night, guys.
Thank
Night.
you.
off topic, but if people are interested in Barry, is a place called Pie Town. Their banana cream pie. Oh my God, is it good?
What was the Mexican place in Spencer?
Shut up.
The one that's not Mexicali,
The
right?
one in my dreams. It had tequila. That's all that mattered.
Alrighty.
I hate you, Scott. I'll be better next year, how's that?
That's such a liar.
I'm gonna skip over by Christmas tree. We'll come back
No,
to it
it's
in
right
case
there.
somebody shows.
That makes sense.
Was that,
I'm gonna skip over it anyway.
Hold on a
all
sec.
right?
is
Yes,
that the, is that the gentleman that?
Oh, that's all right. No, I'm not.
Joe Buckley?
Yes?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So that's the
That's
gentleman
the
you were
guy you
telling
need
me.
to talk to.
I'm not sure. Is this the one on Christmas Tree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I sent you an email.
Right. RDIC controls that land.
RDIC does not control anything outside of the anything outside of the heights. He abuts Christmas Tree Lane, the lot 41AA 22,
Oh,
which is
22.
basically at the next lot size of Christmas Tree Lane, and those. His and Christmas Tree Lane abut the property that goes all the way and includes Central Tree Middle School. It's town property. It is not. He on another side he abuts.
RDIC.
Yeah, RDIC, or actually Mosio.
Yeah.
Well, no.
No, not Mosio. That's right. That's further up. You abut the heights.
Yes,
On-
the
on
backyard.
the
If you were to walk out the backyard and go straight, that's the Rutland Heights property.
Yeah.
But if you look at the house and you go to the right, that's the conservation land. If you go to the left, that's my brother-in-law and sister's house.
Yeah.
one
That fence in the
Christmas tree.
backyard, way in the back of his house,
Yeah,
that's
That's
the
not-
boundary to.
Yeah, that metal fence in the back.
Could you
there.
save me a step and maybe more,
Pull it up.
put it up on?
Yeah, it's just right now.
why, if only I had a way to do that exact thing. It's like I planned to talk about it.
Okay, so which one?
So, this is his property,
Yep,
this is the Heights,
yep,
this is town-owned property that I don't know what the hell it is.
There was a
It's
little
too small
sign
to
there
be a
saying
lot.
Christmas Tree Trail.
Yeah, somebody
No,
put
no, no. Okay, so
Forest Hill Trail, wasn't it?
okay, so the story behind that lot 21, the person on lot 21, he put a sign in there because he's big into Pokemon Go, and so he wants that to become a spot for Pokemon Go.
Almost fell off the chair.
Yeah. So that's the only reason why he hammered a sign in there.
So this property out here,
Yeah.
this is all the property of the town where Central Tree is. If I zoom out a bit,
This piece.
yes,
Catch up.
come on,
It loads.
catch up.
Wait till it, give it a second to
Pokemon's playing
populate.
jokes.
That's what this.
when I read the email, I thought you were talking about the hospital piece.
No, he's talking about coming in with the heavy equipment here to gain access to the back of his property here. This whole thing is, this is the Naquag piece, this is the Central Tree piece, although interestingly enough, Central Tree, if I trust this map, splits the properties. There's Central Tree, and here's the property line. But I'm gonna ignore that.
Okay.
So he's looking for permission to bring his equipment, I mean, please, correct me if I'm wrong, to bring the equipment that, down here so he can reach the back of his property.
Yeah, so that land, obviously it slopes down to the water that's shown there. That's just a tiny stream, but it slopes that way. So I'd like to try to level out the land, but in order to do so, I would need to gain access right there along where it says the 182 down there. That's where I would need to gain the access to.
Now, I'm just gonna go back to what I think the original map is, because
Oh, can you go back to what you just had, please?
this one right here?
The street one.
Yeah, that's, I'm trying, oh, if I just go,
Streets, all the way down.
Or streets, yeah.
There it is. That looks like a right of way. That dashed line.
this, I believe, is the end of, is zoning. It's a zoning line, I think.
No, that might be a right of way, cause that was
That
was traveled. That looked like it had been traveled and it came
Well,
all the way back up into here.
it did, and I will say that when I, come on, I can't hover over it, can I?
Because just
Go
go
back
to
to
layers
this.
and turn on zoning.
But in any
This
event,
thing says something like,
this might be
Yeah.
a piece that got left over from the original development. This was probably gonna be another lot. And this
Was
would have
gonna
been
be
the
the road?
street, and the town has inherited it one way or another. What he's looking to do is he's looking to just be able to utilize this to access. That's all he's looking to do. There's nothing there that's.
Well, I also expressed the
sensitive.
interest in possibly purchasing lot 22 as well. I didn't know who to even go to about that. I'd love to try to purchase lot 22 and maintain it. But that can be a totally
a
separate
title
thing.
search needs to be done to see if there is a right of
So-
way, an easement through here.
Is it okay for me to go up to point
Feel
two?
free.
So the land slopes this way here. So I was looking as one option to purchase lot 22 and then also have that help that level off right around here too. So the front yard would be leveled off with the backyard. And the backyard, obviously, I gotta go talk to someone about where the septic is so I don't disturb the leach field, and that would be the level that.
Why aren't you on, you didn't tie into the sewer?
No,
It was built-
not yet. So when my septic fails, I will tie into the sewer. Which the sewer line goes right through my brother-in-law and sister's house right here. It goes right through here.
Right at this point, Joe, there's a station right there, which leads me to believe.
About?
Yeah,
Yeah. I got it. It looks like a right of way.
Yeah.
yeah, it leads me to believe that there's something here.
Yeah.
the station, that concrete post,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or granite post.
Yeah.
And then there was Julian. Julian was the one who did the survey for me. He put a marker right here, which we thought was, you
Might
had
be
said
center of the
possibly the
road,
center
yeah.
of the road.
Center of the road.
Center line, yeah.
Possibly, and then there was another marker over in this guy's property over here.
He's got a tree here, right, virtually up straddling his property and this, that's kind of rotted out, dead,
Okay.
It's
and in danger of falling. And one of the things we told him to do is to see you because it's about that big around.
Yeah, I didn't know if we could walk the property and I could show you all of this, but I know you're probably busy.
Oh,
But
it's all right.
then, in addition to that tree, we were estimating
So you
that
think
probably
we need-
along this line,
No, do you think we have to take it down?
oh yeah.
He should,
It should
It's a
come
dangerous tree.
it's a dangerous tree.
so on this property line here, we estimated that there might be 2 or 3 trees that might be right on this line as well. I mean, without pulling a string, that's tough to say exactly, but there actually is a tree right here that has fallen already because it's probably about 2 years ago it fell, and it fell right into the yard, so.
That one's uprooted.
Yeah, that one was
Was
up.
any of the property, is that conservation land, or is that actually?
It's not
school?
I
conservation
think
land,
it's
it's
might be
just,
school owned, which would be a bigger problem.
not, the schools don't own anything, the town owns
The town
everything.
owns everything, the schools are just leased.
So, this
Okay.
is in fact town property, not school property. Just happens to be the town property where the school was placed, or, half the school.
Yeah,
So, again, I don't know anything about the rights of way on here, I don't know what.
No, sorry, it's a deed.
I agree, that is a weird rectangle, Joe, I absolutely agree.
Well, there's one on the opposite side, I mean. a
That's the other thing, that goes into Mozio's,
So, yeah,
so,
this abuts Mosio.
They look like a street, looks like a street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was probably originally paper
well,
plan.
back when that was all a ball field at one time over there where Mozio's
Yeah.
is, might have been access to the backside of the ball field, I mean, for all intents and purposes.
It looks like a road.
It does.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is exactly the same width as the road, there's no turnaround, there's no nothing.
you know what doesn't make sense is lot 24 is 1 Christmas tree lane and lot 23 is 5 Christmas tree lanes, so I didn't know how it jumped.
No,
Like that.
it jumped because of the distance, because of the line, how long the frontage is.
Oh,
You get
okay.
a number every certain amount of distance.
Oh, okay.
So that's why some places in town you'll see they're immediately adjacent numbers, and in this case, they skip.
I will tell you, when I was, you saw the house, I renovated the entire house, completely gutted and everything. Actually, some of the old paperwork that was in there said 10 Christmas tree lane. So from the original builder. So that could be, maybe that's what that other property was gonna be.
See this
was-
number 10?
Mm-hmm.
It's lot number
Lot
10
10.
in the development.
Oh, so that's how they identified it, okay.
You can say that in your deed too.
Oh, okay.
Have you bought it, getting a copy of your deed?
I probably can get one, yeah.
Oh, you
Well,
can
it's
go
easy
to the
enough to get,
registry
I mean,
of
you
deeds.
go online and get it.
Oh, okay.
You might wanna do that.
And what will that show me?
It
What
gives
was it
you
for?
a better description.
Okay,
If you go to the town's website and you click on this, it'll tell you, you can bring up a link to the page,
mhm.
and property transfers are recorded there, and you can get the book and page.
No, I don't see any
Okay.
easement,
You
there's
go
no
to
exhibit,
masslandrecords.com.
but it must be recorded under.
I think it's old paper.
You should be able to find it.
The development's a lot bigger
Okay.
than originally, than was actually built.
That's what it looks like.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, that was
There
easy.
you go.
You bought it.
So, you bought it, when you bought it, you're on book 59-225, page 329.
Oh. Wow.
And
That should be your deed.
And that will
Okay.
probably bring you, it'll reference a plan book and page, which then, you can then go back to the page and you can search by plan book and page,
Maybe.
which may show that easement if it is one.
Or it'll actually should show the entire development and the intent
Yeah.
Oh, so
when they
we'll show all
laid
that.
it out.
Okay. We can do a little digging.
That's what we ended up doing.
Okay.
It's probably a right of way already.
Okay, so do you think that lot 22 would be, I'd be able to make an offer for it, or? Oh.
You're getting way ahead.
Oh, getting way ahead, okay.
Sorry. somebody has to go through and do some deed research and figure out what it is. At least based on the picture, what it looks like, similar to what these folks have said, it looks like it was a road that went the entire distance across in front of your house, and the developer didn't finish it, and only a portion of it was turned over to the town and made public.
Yeah.
And it could still be deeded as a right-of-way. Whether you could buy it or not, it depends on how the original deed was written.
Okay, who would I talk to about that?
I think I'd start with doing some research.
Okay, but what department, if it is the town? Should I reach out to
I'd start with Becky if it was me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
assessors?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let's see
I'd do
what they
some
say.
good deed research first.
Yeah, definitely.
The town got it in '79.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that little piece?
Yep.
Yeah, the house was actually built in '59.
Yep.
So that's probably
I
when
bet
it
you
is.
the town got a tax title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I got,
That,
10 years
I'll bet
difference,
you're
I
right.
would say it's a
Yeah.
tax lien.
20 years.
20.
20-year difference.
20 years?
Tax lien. 55 to.
Oh, you'll bet 50 now.
59.
Yeah.
59, yeah.
Yeah.
so eventually we got tired of not getting the taxes.
Right.
Right.
And if that's the case, you could probably actually get it.
That's what I was wondering.
Depending upon what's on the deed.
Yeah,
Right.
as long as I'm paying taxes on it, yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'll
So
do some
it's
more digging.
worthwhile getting this book and page also to see how this deed is encumbered.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll play around with that and see what I can come up with. Okay.
So Peter, just for clarification,
Yes.
in a minute, are there any wetlands there?
Okay, so that's a,
Yeah.
that is a
Tamika,
shocking
ring it
one question, Tamika.
Really? How to bring us back to work?
I know, I'm sorry.
So, you know what?
So anyway, he's got some dangerous trees over there that straddle town property and his property. And we recommended that he talk to you before he,
Takes them down.
Okay,
We can walk them.
Sure.
so there's a ring, so the fast answer is the map wetlands are over here, which is roughly 125 feet and a little from his property line, which means that it sounds like it's not jurisdictional to Conservation Commission. I will, however, warn you about this stream that's marked on the map. Because
didn't
this
see.
flows, because this flows directly into the heights, we, the town, have dealt with DCR, and DCR has expressed real interest in protecting that. I believe it's an underground stream, but I can't swear by that at this instant because it's water supply. And that puts a whole new wrinkle on how close you can do work to it because it's a water supply.
yeah, but if it's underground, generally DCR doesn't get too interested in it.
It becomes a
Jurisdiction.
watershed
Right.
Protection
Yeah.
Act issue, not a wetlands protection
Put the
act issue.
flyover up and see if it looks like a water, if it looks like a body of water.
Jen's on the call too, she might know.
Oh, I know. She's not raising her hand.
She's sleeping.
She might be in full meetings.
Come on, you miss us.
She can hear you.
I know she can hear me. That's why I say stuff like that.
It definitely used to try and be.
So
I don't just pick on Melissa.
Definitely try. It used to
Are
be.
you seeing what we're looking at, Jennifer?
Joe.
I I was just looking at our
It
viewer,
definitely used to be.
we have our visual view of that stream, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So it would go all the way because he's lot 10.
So
It's a road.
the purpose of this discussion is laid out as a right of way, so he can make it to go through and do his work anyways.
Right.
It is a zone A.
it is so,
Yeah.
which is not
Per-
surprising.
Per Mass GIS it is, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what I didn't turn on. Yeah, there are all kinds of layers you can turn on, and I didn't. I just turned on the DEP map wetlands. And do I know why the wetlands end here when the stream continues? No, I have no idea. But I will say, based on the
Right, right.
topology in this
Could be, yeah.
area,
That's if it's a stream even.
I mean, it looks pretty streamy.
Yeah. That's,
yeah, I mean, if you
that's there.
follow it down,
It's there.
That's
No,
there.
we didn't see anything back there. That's
looks
what I'm
streamy.
saying.
It's a technical.
I like
term.
that.
Question is it intermittent and perennial for our purposes?
That's true.
It's not on
Well,
the, it's
again,
not on the
I-
USGS for the
can't
graph.
keep-
he,
wet now.
he's not within 100 feet
So we're not worried
of
about
the
it.
stream or the.
But that's
the
for
thing.
us.
That's why-
That's
Perennial,
not.
and then it's 200.
It's riverfront,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
perennial, but I don't think it is perennial. At least I'm not seeing anything that tells me it's perennial.
I don't think it'd have a big enough watershed.
Yeah, I don't think so. Could check stream stats, but.
So he just wants to drive through it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
he's not gonna alter anything, so.
I'm all right.
And then as you get closer, people will need to see plans to make sure they understand what trees are coming down out of necessity or out of,
Right.
if you build a wall right on your property edge, that's going to impact a different set of trees than if you slope up. And it's all gonna depend upon what you decide to do
Okay.
on the property.
Okay. And that contractor will be submitting those plans, what they're intending to do, what the slope
Mm-hmm.
they're planning on doing.
Yeah.
Right.
And the two contractors you had mentioned to us are both very familiar with that,
Mhm.
so.
Mhm.
Now, even though it's not jurisdictional, I would suggest, I'm not gonna demand, I'm gonna suggest you do file an RDA, a request for determination of applicability, so that everybody has it on, we all have paperwork that says, we'll end up saying, unless that stream is real, it's something we need to be
It's
concerned with.
streamy.
It's intermittent.
It
Per,
is.
per Mass GIS,
I
it's
see-
an
I see
intermittent
what
stream.
I'm a professional,
Okay.
it's
They have
streamy.
drugs for that.
What's
So
it?
does that put
Drugs
them,
for that these days.
so that's the 200 then,
Good
right?
ones.
Wait,
Wait,
if
you
it's
say
intermittent?
It's intermittent, no river front.
It's, that's right, it's not perennial, it's
It would
intermittent.
only have a 100-foot buffer.
Okay, so even though
He's still far enough away, it doesn't
Yeah.
make any difference.
he's not doing work in an area that is jurisdictional,
Mhm.
Correct.
Correct.
but having an RDA
Helps.
protects everybody,
Yeah.
especially when we
Get no
start getting
argument
phone
there.
calls.
You get no argument there.
And how do I submit the RDA?
Tim, I can help you with that.
Okay.
I'll send you an email. It's one of the easiest filings we do,
Got it.
so it won't be
Got
a
it.
big deal.
Don't lie to him like that.
No,
She's a professional too, she can say that.
I just want to make sure I go through all the right
Yeah.
avenues.
You're doing good.
No.
You're doing
No,
good.
They
you-
will
you-
help you.
All right.
I thank you before, I'll thank you again for coming to us in advance of doing work.
I do appreciate
We've
it.
had a lot of that lately, so
I
we must
know.
be getting a reputation. You gotta go.
Because we're very streamy.
I'd rather have that than surprises.
Right,
Just
yeah.
because we're streamy.
We're streamy.
As
Or
opposed
maybe
to
it's because
dreamy.
we say streamy.
Yeah, for all we know, he'd go ahead and he'd buy 22, then he wouldn't grant us access to the property.
Right. Okay.
Worry
All right.
about that
Go.
another day.
Joe, you can go home
Oh
now.
my God, it's almost 7.
Have a good night.
We're already at the time I
Merry
wanted to
Christmas
end.
again.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
So,
Look at
I'll
the
reach
trees
out
in
to
front
help
of
you.
you.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll
Do
send
you-
you an email
Yeah,
tomorrow.
perfect. Thank you.
any other questions?
That's it. Thank you
All
very
right.
much for your help.
You're very welcome.
Have a good night.
Thanks, you too.
Oh, let's talk about everybody's favorite environment, Brice Lemon Estates.
Tastes like chicken.
Hey Jennifer, you
that's-
still there?
I'm still here.
Have you been over to Brice Lemon at all lately?
Oh yeah, we've got
Yeah, she's
letters,
the
we
one
got
that started
stuff.
this.
Yeah, I was, let's see, last week I think I was out there. I haven't been out there this week.
Yeah, that detention basin that we had all the heartbreak over. Did you specifically look at that?
Yeah, so there's this white PVC pipe at the bottom of the detention basin, and then there's a riser that comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think what's supposed to happen is the water's supposed to get to the top of the riser and then go into the top of that pipe and then outflow. And right now it's going into a plunge pool, which I think is a temporary thing because it's not how it's designed on the plans. It's supposed to go like further out into a level spreader. Well, the riser pipe was taken off, so it was basically just draining from the bottom of the detention basin. And obviously it was going into the plunge pool and very quickly, and it was very silty. And then that was traveling through the woods and over the silt fence into a stream that goes into Millbrook.
Right.
So we did go out there. I talked to Tom Larson, and he put the riser pipe back. And they fixed the plunge pool, like they cleaned it out, and then they put some crushed stone so that the side of it, where it was all eroded away, was back to a reasonable height to hold the water. fixed the silt fence, removed the silt from the wetland, and the stream was now running clear. So it has been addressed, but it's on my list of things to check because it just doesn't look right to me. Like that the riser should be coming off
Well, the
to
thing we're
lower
kinda,
the height of the water in the pond, because that
These,
kind of defeats the purpose. So.
these are the up-to-date site plans. And if I'm
Yeah.
reading this right, this is the detention pond right here that's in question.
Yes.
But
Yes.
But when did that extension get put on that, Jen? Because I remember it originally back when it was an oval, and then they put that piece behind the houses. When did that get put onto it? I mean, I was off the board for a while, but
I missed it because
okay, you missed it too. Okay, I don't feel bad now.
yeah.
Oh, wait a
So the
minute.
last thing that we commented on didn't have that little
That finger was never there.
that finger.
Right.
The last thing that we wrote a comment on, it wasn't there. And it wasn't on our set that we issued the variance for. But the variance isn't for that section of the subdivision, it's for the phase 4 crossing. But I don't know when that new one came on, but it was on the plans, I believe it was on the plans that Tamika sent me, wasn't it? And it was on the plans that Tom had their design plans.
Right.
So this is.
Yeah, there you go.
7.
That's the new one. So it used to see how it kind of bows in. Like
Yeah.
if you go to the lower left where it goes in, it used to end there.
Right. It used to end right there.
And then I don't know when that other section got
Right.
approved. Like
Right, because Joe and I
I must
walked.
have fell asleep on that one.
We did too. 'Cause-
And then, I'm sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, we did too. Because when Joe and I walked it, I'm looking at it going, when did this other piece come in? And then we're looking that original, the basin that was in there. We're like, it wasn't made to handle that much water.
So that's top section of the basin, right?
Yep.
Of that basin we're looking at. That's now going to handle phase 4 water.
right,
That's a lot of freaking water.
Yeah,
So
but-
I'm not an engineer, and nor do I play one on TV. But
none of this was designed originally to take all of that. This was only designed to handle down here. I looked
again,
at all of
I don't know
this.
when it got changed because originally the round, what do I want to call it, like the bottom round pond part, right?
Right.
Yeah,
That's where the rail trail used to go over. Now
Yes.
the rail trail is going over the left side of that detention basin, not over. Like I can't. I'm
Yeah,
pointing,
right
but you
over
can't
here.
see me point.
Right.
But yeah, but well, they have a connector from inside
Yes.
the subdivision.
Yes.
That's yep.
That
And
runs
then
very
it used to
close
go
to these
kind of
wetlands,
right
yeah.
along and then
Yeah.
across where this water thing is, but it's not like that anymore. So I don't know when this got approved, but what's also really interesting, and again, I've read a lot of plans. I've never seen a detention basin. So it's going, the way this is working, there is subsurface drainage up on the upper right of the screen on the top of that detention basin. You see that little, it looks like a septic system, but
Yep.
it's not.
yep.
Yep, you see what I'm
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this thing
Right
right
there.
there.
Yep.
yeah, and there's also one on the lower right of the plan, but you can't see it because it's kind of off the page. So it's going from the storm scepter, right? There's a storm scepter up above on the road and one down below. Goes into the storm scepter, and then it goes into the subsurface,
Yeah, there's that other
subsurface
infiltrator right
chamber, and then the excess then goes into the detention basin. I've never seen. Like usually your subsurface is like your last stop kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting. And again, I don't remember that on the plans that we reviewed originally for it.
No.
I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just, but those subsurface are currently offline. So they're just going from the storm scepter into the detention basin, then out of the detention basin into this PVC pipe that goes into a plunge pool that isn't on the plan yet. But they don't want to finalize the level spreader and everything because they're still doing construction.
Right.
So that's a little bit of a, I'm just concerned because they keep taking out the riser to lower the level of the pond, which doesn't seem like the right thing to do to me.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't, again,
Well, what they're doing is they're
I've been
making,
doing this a long time, and I realize, they don't have to have final grades and final everything because they're still under construction, but if this is gonna handle 4, so, phase 4, I mean, that's the last phase they're doing, that means that this isn't even gonna get finalized until phase 4, that's a long time to have
it unfinished. So
Yeah.
there is some concern. I'm trying to get out there at least once or twice a week, take a look and see what's going on.
Yeah, Jen, I haven't even told the commission this yet, but I had heard at the last planning board meeting that that acceptance of this detention pond is being shifted out of phase 2. And I didn't know the reason I didn't know it was gonna capture phase 4 work as well.
Yeah, it's capturing all of phase 4, which I didn't know either. I thought that it was just.
How can it capture all of phase 4? A lot of phase 4 is downhill, downgrading it. It's over the crest that's further up the hill here, further up.
I don't know if it might just catch up to the crest.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's catching everything, but I didn't even realize this was catching any of phase 4.
Right.
Right.
I'm with
And I,
you on
like I said,
that.
I don't remember the detention basin changing shape.
Nope.
So
Neither way.
that was all news to me. I was like, when did that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we had, in the beginning, that detention basin, the part that they originally built that was more like a round pond, that was built in the 200, a part of it was built into the 200-foot.
Yes.
Right.
And they cut down trees. And remember, we had like an enforcement order.
Yeah, because he pulled the stumps. Yeah.
Right. So I don't remember this other like finger-like portion ever even being built, but there's a lot of water in it. And
Yeah. There's a lot of
they
silt
took
in
down
it.
the snow fences, which is not my concern, but there's a lot of kids that live in the area, and there's a lot of water in it.
And there are children who will swim in that regularly, is what I keep getting
I
told.
heard, and I
Every time
don't. I
you
mean,
say that.
just thinking what's in that water.
Yeah, things I don't want to know.
Yeah.
So
the
Jen,
problem
by the
we
way,
had-
but you want more water? Let me give you a little more water. On the opposite side of what road is this? I don't remember anymore.
Woodside?
Woodside, thank you. And uphill a little bit, they've had significant water problems. And so they've done a couple other goodies that tie into the subsurface drain that go right into this detention pond. And that's, hold on, let me go back to the big map because that's important to understand.
That's the ones coming off Oakley?
Yes, exactly, which is up
It's-
here.
yeah,
This is Oakley. This is, I mean, you can see the gradient here, and it all flows this way. And so these houses over here were getting inundated with water and flooded. And so they built some more infrastructure to capture that water and tie into the subsurface drain here that, as you know, goes right into that detention pond a little bit.
Right. That's where puts 2 big berms in the road, correct?
Yes, exactly right.
Yeah. Well, if you stand there, it smells like chocolate, and I have no idea why. But just go out there one day; it smells like chocolate. So it's like a really weird
Maybe someone
smell.
has a home kitchen.
Expensive?
Like I know it was like strong. I don't know what
Mm-hmm.
it was. And we looked around, we couldn't find anything, but it's an observation. I'm just telling you, it smells like
Chocolate
chocolate.
chips on
It's better than sewage.
It is certainly better than sewage.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, so phase 4, I believe, is where this crossing is right here. Of course, you can't see me pointing, but this little
That
wetland
crossing right
there.
there, that's,
Yeah.
yeah, phase,
So I think they're
phase
taking
2
everything. I mean,
ends-
that's again. I don't know how
Actually, I'm wrong, I
plans
think it's right here.
changed. I mean, we pretty much do a good job keeping up with stuff, but I don't remember the detention basin looking like that. And
No.
I know Quinn Engineering reviewed it, but did they review it when it looked like this, or did they review it the way it used to be?
I don't know that Quinn looked at it since any change beyond, I mean, we had Quinn look
We
at
had
it when
Quinn
we
look at it in the
originally.
beginning.
We
Yeah.
have not had Quinn involved because superseding order came in and
Right,
DEP
right.
took over, so we've been out of the loop. And
Maybe that's when the change happened, when the superseding came, because that could have been it. But
No, it
again,
wasn't on
I
the
mean,
superseding.
you guys work, a lot of you work in the field. Have you ever seen it going from a storm scepter right into an infiltration chamber and then out of that into a detention basin?
Yes.
I've never seen it
I have.
the other way, but I've never seen it that way.
You want
Because
the
I mean, to me,
technical
that seems
answer?
like
Yeah.
your infiltration chambers
underground
would
systems
silt
for
up pretty
recharge.
quick, right?
So when
Yeah.
it clogs.
Provide
I'll
some
guarantee you,
ideas
there's nothing
right
over
by
there
it.
that
We'd
isn't
have to look at the calcs.
silted
Yeah.
up, it's mucked up at this point.
Well, no,
Yeah,
there's
so,
one
I don't know, they're
specific
not apparently they're not online yet, but that was just something I observed when I was out there that I thought was odd. Just never really saw that kind of design.
Tamika?
Because there's one on Bear Hill. There's an infiltration chamber on Bear Hill.
Right.
And it, that they put online, I don't know, a couple years ago. but that's like the last stop. You go to the infiltration and then, you know, it infiltrates.
That's
So,
it, yep.
I thought it was interesting, but that riser pipe and the fact that they keep pulling it out or tilting it down. They said they hand tilted, I'm doing air quotes right now, hand tilted down to lower the water of the pond. And I'm like, you shouldn't be touching it because you're just grabbing silt when you do that, you know? So I don't know what's going on. It seems a
Well,
little odd.
I think what they're doing is just trying to build storage capacity
It gets too full.
for those, because when it rains, none of that down below was ever designed to handle that much flow.
Right, but think about this, they're hand lowering it and we haven't even had a 100-year storm. I mean, I know we had one over the summer, but like, they were hand lowering it a couple weeks ago and
Yeah,
we didn't have a 100-year storm, so it does concern me, like something's not right, like the storage wise.
yeah, exactly.
I agree.
So, I mean, we'll keep after them for the silt and, you know, I told them that they couldn't pull out the riser pipe, you just, cause you're releasing pure silty water.
Right, but the superseding
And
now,
that Mill Brook, I mean, that's, you know, that's through the woods, under the rail trail, and we were getting chocolate milk going down the stream.
yeah,
So, you know, that, it's significant enough where we're gonna keep our eye on it. But I don't know what's going on with those detention basins, they just don't look right to me.
right. But I'm gonna tell you something about the superseding. The superseding was really no different than what was originally presented to us and reviewed by Quinn.
Okay,
We
All
hope.
right, so all of these
It wasn't.
changes
It
didn't
wasn't.
occur because of the
Actually, couldn't have been.
superseding.
Must have been.
And I'd be curious to know who's okaying all
I don't
this.
remember that piece at all.
You know, who's allowing these changes?
Today? Nope.
I mean, that would have to go back to DEP, wouldn't it?
I know he said he doesn't have.
you could ask DP, I mean, I CC'd them on my email and I sent Tamika with the photos to keep them in the loop.
Yep,
And I got no response or any kind of acknowledgement back from them, you know, about it, so.
okay.
But, you know, it is just something that's interesting, because I don't remember it looking like that in the beginning.
Yeah, because I remember in the beginning, Boston was kind of even a little less than pleased about the designs in the first
Yeah,
place.
this is his email, so he doesn't say when he was
And I
there.
think they were pressuring Worcester office to get, you know, involved. I'm not sure all the things that went
Yeah,
on behind the scenes.
I can't remember if it was Marty that was working on it, but I know Gary has been reassigned, if he wasn't on it before, no, he was on the superseding.
Oh, yeah,
I
Gary
think-
was
Yeah,
on
Gary-
that.
Yeah, I think
Get-
Gary Domain was, but
Yeah.
I mean, I sent it to Judy Smith, just, you know, because she's the section chief. And she didn't respond back. I mean, it was kind of handled by the time I sent out the email, because we had them clean it up. It just looks odd to me, and there's an awful lot of water in it and, you know, not hitting that 100-year storm. It kind of makes me nervous.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like someone's gonna run out there every week and hand lower the water, you know, that's, you know what I mean? These aren't the locks, you know?
I kind of doubt it's the kids pulling it out of there, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So, phase 4 runs from about here
Yep,
to about here,
yeah, somewhere in there.
because this is Pioneer, and that already exists. In fact, we've already given orders of conditions for a lot of these houses, so, and we know what runs past it. So it's up here is where it ends. What I don't remember, and maybe one of you guys can help me remember, which of these roads are of these little cul-de-sacs are phase 4, and which are phase 5?
I can't help you.
I don't know off the top of my head.
I really,
You gotta look at the print, okay?
yeah.
Yeah, you have to
It's,
look at
and
it, I
it's
don't
not on
remember.
this.
I did also have them, clean the detention basin on 122, the one on the other end of the
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
subdivision, because that was all clogged, there was silt in the road. You couldn't even see the rocks in it anymore, so that should be
Oh.
clean now.
Look what I found.
Yeah, there you go.
So phase 4 really is only the road, the connecting
Yeah.
road.
Yeah, pretty much.
And yes,
some
there are enough
houses.
lots along there to make it good enough to build, but that's phase 5, okay. So both cul-de-sacs are phase 5, it is only the road and the abutting houses. Okay,
So at the last meeting, you guys had requested the stormwater report, the complete report. I I asked Tom Larson and he said he asked Julian to do that. I followed up with Julian and I never heard back. So I do have a request out there for
That's
it.
interesting, because I've heard Julian say to me that he's not involved in this anymore. Now, he did the
So
original.
Yeah, we've been told, because we keep asking for the weekly SWIP reports.
Yep.
And we keep being told that Julian's doing the SWIPs, which I know he's not because there was like silk fence down everywhere. But we're gonna put a little more pressure on to get the SWIP reports done every week for them, that they do them. Also, they don't have their sign up, their official SWIP sign with their construction general permit at the end of either entrance, which they need to have. So I don't know, I have not talked to Julian, but I keep being told he's doing the SWIP, but I can't seem to get a copy of him.
Okay.
But we're only supposed to be copied on it. DEP's the one that's supposed to be getting those.
Yes.
Anyone that has an interest in the water can request a copy of the SWIP. So it could be DCR, because we have an interest, it could be the Conservation Commission,
Yep.
it could be DEP, so anyone with an interest in the water is legally allowed to have a copy of the SWIP.
But I thought he was required to turn them into DEP.
It would be part of their superseding, because it's not in the regulation. Because normally you just keep your SWIP reports on file in case the EPA or someone else requests to see them.
Right.
Okay. So,
Okay.
Okay, so it's a mess.
Yeah.
really need to figure out.
Did you ask
when
for the
that
SWIP
detention
in
basin
an
changed.
email?
If it changed?
No, when it changed.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, that was a huge use when we were on before, and to walk out and see that.
Ask Julian to get that to you.
I'll have to drive by
I
because
didn't
And,
know
and,
Julian
and for
was
her,
on
and for
it
Jonathan, I
and
remember
asked if I
too,
could have it for this
because that
week.
triggered a whole bunch of stuff. And it's like, okay, how'd everybody miss it?
Is it worth asking the planning board if, because they have more overview of stormwater in a subdivision, if they have the ability to ask Quinn to go out and do a progress inspection of the stormwater features to ensure that they're functioning properly?
Sure.
We can't require them.
We can
But we can
ask. I
ask.
think we can ask anything we like. And I think it's gotten
Yeah.
serious enough that we need to,
There's
I agree that we need to apply a little more pressure to get the information we're looking
Because
for.
technically they're making BVW impacts
Right,
every time they release,
yeah.
Right,
Yes.
right. Yes.
which we could take action on, even if there is a superseding, because it's a new issue, but
Mhm.
I think that's important to see, especially if no one understands how that basin turned into a phalange.
Right.
Listen, did you say an evaluation of the?
Like a progress site visit to determine compliance with the stormwater infrastructure that's been installed.
Something I don't see in our plans is subsurface water
Seen that?
flow.
What's in
In
it?
what way? Like when
What's
you-
in
Like,
the structure?
where are
Open cover?
all the inputs, where do the pipes
It's
go?
water column
Okay,
structure.
oh, yeah,
That's not a storm
That
sewer.
kind of plan.
an actual
That's a
construction
different
plan.
model.
Yeah.
That's what's in the road up there. I'm not.
If you pop that up, it's
When I
not
look
just-
at
not
what
just
I've
in
got
the-
for a
Right, I knew
list of
that.
files,
It's
and I
got
got a lot of
fiberglass
these.
Pieces in it, yeah.
It's,
Unless
it's
it's a-
serviceable.
Because it should
I'm
be,
in the site plans now,
It's
because
functional.
it should
Yeah.
theoretically be in the site plan.
plan.
Because we went through
profile,
all, I mean, there's nothing in the storm basin.
Off-site
Storm
water
basins are
sewer,
cleaning, you go,
erosion
where's all the
control
silt coming from?
plan. I got
Usually
detail
it's
sheets.
It's
a
mud
grading
pies.
and utilities plan.
And then there's the, then there's the definitive
It's a
plan.
sediment basin. It's
Right.
forever.
Right.
Yeah.
It has like- it doesn't look like it's been cleaned out.
No.
Interesting.
What's the date on those plans, Peter?
November last year, so they're just over a year old.
All
And
right.
they were up to date as of that date.
Okay. So it may not necessarily show some stuff. If it
Well,
looks like there
I would have
may be
expected to
some
see,
flexing that's occurring up,
there are certainly changes.
yeah.
There's no question, lots of things called require field changes. Yep, absolutely. But I would have thought they would have a plan of where all the subsurface water's going.
Mm-hmm.
Once it hits a storm drain.
Right.
Yes, they've even changed where the storm drains are. I get that. But they should also have an up-to-date map of those.
Right. Well, even that, the amount of silt in that pond, there's nothing in the storm basins.
Right.
And you're going, well, where's it coming from? I mean, is it coming from where they tied in all those houses? You know, up to the
So they recently did clean, I guess they're trying to get acceptance of the road, the lower half of the road, like right about where that basin is.
Yeah.
And they went in and they cleaned all the catch basins
Oh.
from like that point down to the main road.
Okay.
So
They
that's
wanted-
probably why you didn't, because it was pretty nasty before that, because we kept saying, you know, you really need to clean out the catch basins. Really need to put silt sacks in. So I know they went in, and they did clean those, and I was told they cleaned that first storm sector as you come up the hill.
Right.
Um,
So they
So-
did want to put it on the special town meeting we just had, but they submitted, they put forth their idea too late.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
Because they don't understand how much work it is to accept a road. Because now the planning board has a process, and they stick to it. It's about 3.5 months of work before they go to the select board for the
Right.
for the laying of the ways.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Anything else on Brice Lemon while we're here? Anything else we need to talk about on this?
No.
All right. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate it. I don't know if you're here for anything else also.
Probably, I'm sure something will come up.
And entertainment only.
All right. So
It's like Family Feud.
So I will point out this email from Quinn, because we asked them for whatever report they have on it, because I thought that they had done some notice in some of their status reports about the amount of silt in the detention pond, and what they said basically is, we don't have anything really. So I could easily just be misremembering the contents of the reports, and
Mm-hmm.
he gives them every couple of weeks to the planning board. So if somebody were willing to sit through and read those to find slots that are information that's interesting, it could be worthwhile to us, but that's going to be coordination with Dave to find all the damn reports.
They do it every 2 weeks.
Every other week they look, well, every planning board they review, and I guess it's not reliably every 2 weeks. Most weeks, most of the time they have at least one report on a subdivision. But on the other hand, Quinn is also doing Brice Lemon, Brentnall,
Yeah.
Bear Hill 2, and I don't think anybody's doing Maple Hill because it's effectively done.
No, he had a report at the last planning
Oh,
board.
did he?
Because of, the sidewalk, remember the rain?
Oh, yeah,
compliance,
yeah.
and then the field change for the street trees,
Right.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
This was a lot of reports then.
yeah. So I'll bet he doesn't do them every other week. I'll bet that's right. But they'll still be frequent enough.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I still don't know that asking for an as-built today, if they're gonna hold off until phase 4, will yield anything.
So there's no point in doing an as-built because they don't have the final grades in,
Yeah.
or the final
Right.
outlet of that detention basin.
That's true.
So, and they don't plan to do that until phase 4 is completed, so then, you know, in my mind, and of course this is not my issue, but I'm like, how can you ask the town to accept the road if the detention basin that serves the road isn't built properly, but that's not my issue.
You had a good point.
You got an excellent point.
Yeah.
So this is also Tom Larson's response, and Jen, since you're here, you can say whether or not you agree or disagree with the statements that are made here, that DCR is satisfied with the measures taken.
I think, you know, he did fix what needed to be fixed, and we talked about the riser, like I said.
Yeah.
And he fixed the plunge pool, which is not permanent. He took the silt out of the wetland. He fixed the silt fence. So I'm satisfied as of now, but I'll be out for the next big rainstorm and, you know, make sure something else isn't going on.
We also cleaned the pond and that's on the other side. That's near Main Street. Never mind.
Right.
Yes, because I said it was a disaster.
Yeah.
I have to drive by that every time I go to work, so it
When did we go
annoys
up
me to see
there?
it dirty.
When did we visit Brice Lemon for Pioneer? Actually, that's when we looked at the phase 4.
Right
Do you
before I
remember?
ripped my ankle apart.
Yeah.
It was October of
Okay.
last year.
So it's been that long since we were out. Maybe, I don't know when we can look at anything.
I was out. We were out. I was out both sides. Well,
Yeah, but
didn't you and I
it's
go to
about to
first side?
snow on
Yeah.
us again, I think.
Yeah, we went to both sides.
Don't say that.
Yeah, we went to both sides. The biggest problem is that piece they're building up top. I mean, you can't even see the road. There's
Right.
so much dirt in the road. You're going, what are you doing? Sweep the road. That's half their problem.
Well, it saves them
Catch
having,
basins in the
This
road?
is the one we were just talking about, right?
Where's the-
No,
where's
Yes,
the-
that-
no,
that's
you can't
moving
see
to
the
phase
phase
4.
Yeah.
You can't see him.
it saves
He's
them
saying
trucking
that
it.
home building has been completed and all.
Because now it just falls through.
It's brutal. You go up there and you go, are you kidding
Because he
me?
almost made it seem like
And you
they
create your own problems.
Well, it's, the top there is
The top's a mess.
kinda messy.
Maybe he's just talking about
It's
surrounding
I
areas.
think he's sort of talking about the
Okay.
surrounding area. I think he's
I'll
talking
walk
about all
around
the
now.
phase 2
That's
properties.
the problem with, I get the phases screwed up.
Right.
The Woodside portion,
Yep.
there's no silt sacks in any of the catch basins.
Right.
And they're using the detention basin as a sediment basin, which is fine. It's just, it means you have to clean it out pretty often,
Right.
if you're not preventing the sediment from getting to it.
Right.
I know, it could be it's just way higher than it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how you end up with the chocolate milk down on it.
Yeah, yeah,
The coffee milk.
right.
It's more coffee milk.
Latte.
Coffee milk, latte.
It's like mocha coffee.
Yeah, yeah,
Extra caffeine.
yeah. Frappuccino, if you will, during the winter.
Here it's good to swim in. too.
Okay.
That
My,
is on
my
a
mask.
different
My masks
topic.
for all.
Oh,
So, anything else on Brice Lemon before we?
That's enough of Brice Lemon tonight.
Good lord. Yes.
I had
Till
heard
next year. Oh, yes, right. I won't be here.
All right. Our favorite property around 165 Cannon Road.
Is that our favorite or second favorite?
Has
we, just
anybody
we just left our favorite.
talking to Paul McManus.
Yes.
Gave us the report.
Why look? We have. I actually pulled up 3 emails for this. So let's start with Alan's email, basically restating that find a map online. It's for guidance, it's not reality, kids.
Yep.
And that he does not know about this so-called 70-foot buffer zone variance.
Yeah, we even called Wachusett, Watershed up,
Yep.
just to make sure that they, weren't doing something out in the Holden, in the other side of Rutland, Holden
sure.
area. And they had never heard of a 70-foot buffer either. I mean, I'm not saying there might not be a farm out there somewhere that we might have given a variance to, but we don't have a general rule of that, so I don't know where that came from.
And if there was one, I'm going to take a wild guess here, knowing very little, that it was probably the previous owner and not the current owner.
Skip wants one for Christmas.
Just where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah, you already put up your fences, so.
Yeah.
So now, Jen, you weren't here at the last meeting when,
Joe.
I couldn't remember his last name.
Somerset.
Joe Somerset appeared and was all cooperative, talking about they were going to put up a fence and they're going to
Okay.
outside the 100 and
And,
well,
plant some blueberry trees.
yeah, blueberry bushes. Yes, that's true.
He was
also.
good. He was good until I decided I wanted to walk it. Then he got real quiet.
He got quiet, but he begrudgingly agreed, which was still a huge step in the right direction.
Sure.
Then came this, just a minute, started the wrong way, from Ecotech. I'm just going to zoom through and talk about the important sentences, which are way down at the bottom, that says, in his opinion, la 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 la. In his opinion, the grazing of livestock within the subject area is not prohibited by wetlands, watershed, or drinking water regs, as a bottom line. Now, he talked about doing soil samples, but we don't have a map of where they were. We don't really understand, I personally don't understand exactly where they ended up and how it relates to this property. So, Jen, did you ever get this letter?
Yeah, so we've all been on kind of vacations, different times over the last week or so. And we've all read the letter, but we haven't sat down and really discussed it all
Okay.
together yet. So there's some points in the letter I'm like, okay, I can see where he's going with this, and then there's other parts of the letter I'm a little confused on. But I haven't talked as a group to my other colleagues, so I can't really comment on our stance on the
No,
letter
and-
tonight.
And that's
Does that make
fine,
sense?
that's all I wanted to hear, that you got it and that you can,
Yeah. Yeah, we were wondering, where in the letter he says, and then this is obviously more related to you guys, but he said that the rotation of grazing in a wet meadow is not prohibited under the Wetland Protection Act if you're rotating. Which I've never heard of, I know farms in existence, stay in existence kind of thing,
What's
but
that?
he specifically said that about, and I'm
there
sorry, I
in the
can't
middle.
find it. It was in there about rotating of grazing pastures and then it wouldn't be prohibited, and that was news to me, but again, I can't really comment on everything in the letter because we haven't talked as a group. We're gonna schedule that probably, hopefully next week if enough of us are in the office with the holiday, so.
okay, so actually potentially qualifies as BVW under the wetland regs. But he says,
Yeah, like I said, it's more of your concern, but he actually says in there, if you rotate the
next
grazing areas, it's exempt from the Wetland Protection Act. And I don't know where that came from, but again, that's more of your regulation, not ours, so. Yeah, there it is, it says,
all right, so this is on the Google Drive on today's meeting directory.
So I had emailed them a couple of times over the past 2 weeks asking for this information and requesting a site visit to do the fence. And then late yesterday, I got the email from Wendy that's also on there. And it's my
Oh, yeah, that's
interpretation
this
from
one.
the email that they are no longer going to do the fence because they're saying that they're allowed to do this, was my understanding. But I
Again,
wrote to both Joe and Wendy and only heard from Wendy with this.
I feel like a site visit might just clear this whole thing up,
we said that at the very beginning.
They won't let us.
They are unwilling.
Yeah, I know. It just seems like it's so complicated this way.
This is longer than I thought.
You're gonna die.
Not yet.
Shouldn't say
I have
that.
a little bit of time left. It hasn't come up with the.
Maybe they can give us a
Plug
copy
in.
of their grazing plan and their rotation.
Since I made you cry.
I'm sorry, what's that, Joe? Say-
Maybe they can give us a copy of their grazing plan.
Well, I think that's even what we were initially, our first request for, because I think,
And if they're rotating, where is it rotating to and from?
because we just really wanted them to prove their exemption under agricultural land.
Mhm.
Because if they can prove their exemption under agricultural land, then okay. But, which sometimes that's done just submitting a farm plan or an RDA even.
So, it is apparent from this letter that they don't plan to do anything more
Nope.
with us.
Nope.
So, I want us to take a step back, read this,
Think about it.
yeah, think about it, read some regs, 310 CMR 10, and so that we can draw our own conclusions. We can also, if I can think about how I want to write it, I'm entirely willing to write to DEP to ask for their guidance on how agriculture and grazing interacts with the regulations.
Sure.
Because
I did reach out to them and I never heard back.
That's
To
what
who?
we did.
I did,
Oh, to
yeah,
DEP?
I did reach out on this after one of our meetings and she never wrote back.
Who'd you talk to, or is it
Judy.
Schmidt?
Judy?
Is that her name?
Okay.
Maybe forward it again with the new documents and be like, we really need help now.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else at DEP?
There's, I think Kim's gone already. I think it's just, I don't know who has filled in since then.
Is Judy
She's the section chief now.
Section chief.
Denise is gone.
Who's the circuit rider?
I don't think they have one, because I think Kim
They've been trying to get one, but
left
yeah.
one.
Okay.
They advertised the circuit rider position. I don't know if they hired anyone.
Yeah, because they had Kim from
Right.
North.
Did she take the 4? The EA4 that they had?
I don't know. I don't know where she went.
Oh, okay. I thought she took the full-time position, the EA4 full-time.
Well, because she had taken the circuit rider full time for Central, and then all
Right, but
of a sudden
that was an
they moved her.
EA3, so then they advertised an internal EA4. So I just assumed that
Oh,
she was
maybe.
going for that.
I haven't gotten any comments with her, so I've just seen Judy and a guy.
Gary?
Yeah, no, not even Gary. A younger kid, I think.
Thomas, Tom, something
Yeah,
like that.
Tom.
Yeah, I'll probably can talk more about it next week or the week after when we all sit down as a group and talk it over. So,
Do you think that's likely before our January 4 meeting?
I can probably try to make it before your January 4 meeting. There's a lot of us that's going away for the holidays, you know?
I understand.
I could really try to do that before your January 4 meeting.
Thank you. It would be great. Either way, it could be good to know, and then we will also reconvene and discuss whatever each of us learns and what we think about the situation. And situation might be we're out. Situation might be this analysis is incorrect. But okay. Anything else on 165 Cannon? Moving on very quickly, just to let you folks know about what's coming up. I don't think I've seen this NOI or even heard enough about it, so what is it?
So yesterday I received an NOI from Mark Alpag, 276 Pommogussett Road. They are going to be putting an addition on the house. I have not received the hard copies or the check yet, so I did not put it as a submission. But I let them know I would do a submission for January 4, and then they would schedule a site walk and the hearing for January 18th.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I just want to let you guys know that was coming. And then, as you saw, Peter will have to put on the next agenda.
Yeah.
The
So we did get
CR.
a new conservation restriction for Maple Hill Estates that has not been approved by the state because it hasn't been sent to the state for approval yet. But I did say landowners got to take care of that. But I also said we would discuss it in our next meeting, so please review it. Do we have
I've
our,
already put it on the drive. There's a Maple Hill Estates folder, so I put the new version in there.
was the old version in there also already?
Yes, I
Perfect.
believe so. And the NOI, I've already created a folder for January 4, and the
Yeah.
NOI is in there if anybody wanted to see it.
Great.
Thank you.
And then the last one was actually an email I received from Jen this afternoon about 48 Finn Park Road that I just wanted to quickly bring to you guys' attention.
Just a second, let me, there, that, aha. If I could work computers, I might be dangerous. All right. Pretty picture time.
You love it, don't you?
Recent construction on Finn Park Road, hard scraping, etc. So,
So there's so it's all within our 200 foot. I think at least part of it might touch the 100, especially that lower level of the hardscaping. We didn't get any kind of request or determination or variance application from them. It was something that got called into us from an anonymous abutter. And we went to check it out, and obviously it needed a permit from us. But I think part of it might actually be in the 100 foot for you guys, but I'm not 100% sure. Because I know the roadway, if you go to the end of the road, that's about 200 feet. So if I split the difference between the pond and the road, it comes about halfway where that house is. So I think that lower terrace might be.
well, if this
but it's
line's only 130 feet long,
Oh,
and
is
it's
it?
about
Okay, there you go.
halfway.
So yeah, it would be within your jurisdiction too.
Good way to think
So, I don't know if you guys want to look into it. We're proceeding with a letter to them that they're out of compliance from the Watershed Protection Act. But there was some significant grading. I saw some straw wattles down there, but they didn't really look properly installed or anything. So.
Yeah, I can't see him very well from here.
And there's the infamous ditch. I don't know if you can see that ditch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. This is that ditch, isn't it? The one that's caused by the solar field upstream.
No, it's not.
I
So
know.
we've actually dealt with the ditch last year and people digging the ditch to move the water off the road.
Mhm.
And I thought we had the issue with because there was a lot of sediment in the pond. I thought we had the ditch resolved, but after going out there today, it looks like
The ditches.
they're ditching again. So,
They're ditching again.
and that I know.
Wasn't that an Elton John song, The Ditch Is Back?
Quit your ditching.
I didn't know that there was this kind of infamous ditch on Finn Park. Finn?
Yeah, it was a lot worse last year, but I don't know. But anyways, that construction's right next to the ditch, so it made me a little nervous that stuff was getting washed in the pond.
Yeah. Super. Perfect.
I suggest Tamika send our standard letter. Potential violation, please come to our next meeting.
So,
All right.
right?
Jen, are you sure it's 48 Finn Park Road?
I'm almost positive.
Okay.
So it's the one right, you go back to your little screen. Yes, it's number 19 because that right away is where that,
Ditches.
we spent a long time researching that ditch last year, so. So yeah, it's definitely that parcel 19 that you're on. If that's 48, I'm sure.
Yeah, he
Says
typed in
lot
48.
That's true. That was my search.
Yeah, he typed in 48.
Okay, then you know that's right then.
Come on, pull up.
Robert Parkinson?
Yeah, I was just gonna pull up the property.
Thought I saw
back to me.
Robert Parsakian.
Yeah,
Oh, Parsakian.
that's right.
Okay, then
Yeah, that's it, because he lives in Millbury. Yeah, that's the right address.
okay, so that's the right mailing address then.
Why is that name familiar?
Thank you for bringing this to our attention, Jen. No, I hadn't heard about it.
Yeah,
Lovely.
neither have we until we got a letter in the mail.
Yeah.
So,
Ooh. That anonymous.
Somebody's
No
very
return
angry
address.
about that.
Wow. Not even an anonymous phone call, but a letter.
yeah, an anonymous letter.
Yeah.
All right. So you know the letter to write.
Yes.
Perfect.
What are you doing?
Me?
Right, so after
No.
Christmas, I don't know.
No, before Christmas.
See what my
Yeah.
email's like.
Merry Christmas. You may be in violation.
Jennifer gave it to us. We're gonna pass it to you. Merry Christmas twice.
Yeah, right? I'm actually gonna head out, but have a nice holiday, everyone.
Thank you.
You
too,
too.
Jen.
Enjoy your trip. Just going on vacation.
All right. Is there any other business before the commission tonight? Then before we go, I'll say what everybody else has said. Have a great Christmas, great New Year. We'll see everybody on the 4th, except you.
Where are you gonna be?
Mexico.
So when you say the 4th, are we talking 4th of July?
Yeah, I have to get back into the regular meeting.
Hey,
cadence
enjoy
in the new
tonight.
year.
It's the longest one you're gonna get this year.
Yeah.
They're all long.
All right, I'll take a motion.
So moved to adjourn.
Second.
We're all in the room, all in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thanks, everybody.